That is funny. Well, maybe this will be the one, Rhys.
Maybe.
Really strut
Please,
your
please
stuff.
watch
Go
it.
on,
Please watch
please.
this
I
one.
need one. All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Keeping It Real, the best place for in-depth movie and TV reviews, trailer reactions, and podcasts. I'm your host, James, joined by Rhys again today to talk about episode 2 of HBO's The Last of Us, titled Infected. Joel, Tess, and Ellie traverse through an abandoned, flooded Boston on their way to drop Ellie off with a group of fireflies. Along the way, they encounter infected humans that have evolved into monstrous hunters. This episode was directed by the game's head developer, Neil Druckmann. Rhys, start us off. Your spoiler-free thoughts of episode 2.
Oh, it's another great episode. I mean, I like these little bits at the start to kind of give you a little bit more context, like, you know, where it is, what it is. But again, I'm enjoying seeing this relationship between Joel and Ellie kind of start to bloom a bit. There's a lot of people online who are like, "Oh, Pedro Pascal's Joel isn't mean enough. He's not as I think he's a right amount of mean for
I
my
think
money."
he's perfect.
Like when they're like, "Oh, he's not heartless enough." In the first episode, he doesn't flinch when he throws a child's body onto a fire.
Yeah.
What more do you? And then he almost beats a man to death. What more do you want?
Yeah, some of the complaints, obviously a lot of people on Twitter are just being absolutely horrible towards Bella
Yeah,
Ramsey as
stop
well,
being
which
weird. That she's not
stop
attractive enough to play a 14-year-old
yeah, stop being a
girl.
fully grown man complaining how a teenager
We
looks.
go outside, touch
Yeah,
some grass.
very fucking weird if you're doing that. She is incredible
She's
uh
so good.
in this show. A couple of lines in this episode were spot on. She's got
Yeah.
that character down, like that was scary. This is wood. That shit like that is just
And I got a bit in the hotel where
brilliant.
she's like, "Oh, can I help you, sir?" But like
Yeah.
that is from the game, and I
You're a
was like,
weird
"Oh,
kid. You're a weird kid.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned episode 1 and 2 have started with we are elsewhere. We're not with our core characters. This one starts in Jakarta, which I I didn't think they could get better than the opening of episode 1, but
yeah."
this,
Oh
holy
man,
shit, it was
when she
terrifying.
says the thing,
Bomb.
yeah, when she was like
Yeah.
bomb, I was like, "Oh,
Again, it's in a different language and it's still just bomb,
yeah,
which phenomenal, terrifying, haunting. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey continue to be fantastic. I think Anna Torv really shined in this episode as Tess. She gets a lot to do. Um, I honestly I feel like there's been more than 2 episodes because I've watched the first 2 so much.
oh, I know that they're just I just want to watch them all. It's great to have
We
things come
said
out
the other night, yeah, after we
weekly.
finished episode 2, I was like, if the other 7 were out right now, I think I'd just stay up all night
Oh yeah,
and binge the whole thing.
I would have watched them all
Yeah.
day one.
Um, so if you haven't seen episode 2 now, check out, go see it, come back. Spoilers from now on. So yeah, like we said, starting Jakarta, we get this professor of mycology to that they're not completely sure what's going on, what this infection is. She comes and inspects it, recognizes it's cordyceps, and she's like, but this can't survive in a human. There's a body that has been infected. That's like, yeah, she cuts open the bite mark, and you can see like the cordyceps has formed its own tissue
Yeah,
underneath. So like you get an idea now of how it zombifies. So like the cordyceps will wrap around the muscular tissue of its host and just control it like a puppet, and that is freaky. I was
I know.
convinced
It's
that person was going to wake up, and that
oh,
that
I
was going to
know.
be the
Yeah, I
thing.
was like waiting for her to get bit
Yeah,
or
but I thought
whatever they do.
the way it went was so much more terrifying. She's like, oh yeah, so says, what else are we aware of? How many people have been bitten or missing? She says, how many are missing? And he says 14. And you can tell by the look in her eyes when she hears 14, she's like, well, there could be hundreds by now. It could have
Yeah,
already,
she knows, doesn't
like,
she?
we're
Straight away.
already fucked. There's no vaccine for this. There is no cure. There is no getting away because how this is spreading is also through food and flour. And I think that is the biggest flour factory in the world is in Jakarta,
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah.
correct. So yeah, a brilliant place to put it. They're really thinking everything through. Um, yeah, terrifying opening scene, and then obviously we catch up with the characters. They're out of the quarantine zone now. They've been watching Ellie overnight to see if the bite does take, and she does turn. Nothing's
Beautiful
happened.
setting in that scene. I
She
love
wakes up, yeah, the
that
fetal
little thing of
position and surrounded by
glass, like
nature.
yeah, and like
Yeah,
there's a shot where like it kind of zooms out and she's stood and the lights like on her.
yeah,
I was like, that was it looks so good.
really well shot. What they've done a fantastic way of blending the background CG into the foreground. I noticed a shot when they go outside. Joel is stood on a car, and there's a glare from the sun reflecting off a building, and he stands in front and blocks the glare. And I thought, oh, that's such a simple but effective way of making you think that's real, even
Yeah,
though they're probably completely surrounded by green screen. Yeah, Neil Druckmann, first thing he's like directed, because obviously he's come from the game. Great job. Obviously, a TV show isn't as indicative of a director's talents as a movie would be, because obviously a showrunner sort of sets the tone, and then each director that comes in is just sort of following that. But yeah, a good job regardless. The main focus of this episode is just getting from one area to another, trying to not get eaten by a
yeah. I
zombie.
love the when they're kind of getting into deeper about how it works and like if you step on one, you're gonna get
Which wasn't in the
spawned.
game.
No,
That's
no,
new
that's
for
a
the
new
show, and I think that's
and
so creative because
it's
all the way through
terrifying.
now,
It's a
you're
yeah,
as an audience, you're going to be aware of. We have to be really fucking careful
yeah, and then
about
obviously you
what we
see
shoot,
that
what we step on.
later on,
Yeah.
and
Well, yeah, it's that
it's
shot from obviously we're on the balcony with the three characters and we're looking down and you see all those infected sort of just writhing around on the floor. And I love how we don't zoom to a close up of these. We stay
yeah.
afar from the POV of Joel, Ellie, and Tess. And
I think it's scary
it
like that
looks
because you
like
can see
nature, yeah, and
the scope
they're
of it.
a part of the like ecosystem now. And it's oh yeah, oh it goes right through me.
And
Um,
then the clickers, which is one
the
of the
clickers.
most terrifying, I think, video game creatures. They looked and sounded amazing. Like
Yeah,
whoever did the whoever like
creature
acted
design, yeah.
and like
The actors, yeah.
the actors, they just they had it spot on. The movement, the I think maybe they make their own noises.
Yeah, so yeah, they
Um,
click to echolocate. That's
yeah, yeah, but I
oh,
think that the
they
actors
act.
that the voices them
Oh, yeah,
part of
no,
them,
it's the same people who did it in the
yeah,
game are doing it for the show.
so good. It's terrifying. It's so
It,
scary.
yeah, yeah, we go into the museum, which is exactly what happens in the game. And I love when Joel says, he's like, from now on, we are not quiet, we are silent. And
Yeah,
she goes to ask a question, he's like, no, do as I say. And then, yeah, we go in, the way we came from gets blocked off, and we get a clicker. Well, you get two clickers from each end. It was terrifying because obviously they're just wandering around sort of aimlessly, hoping to bump into someone to infect.
yeah,
So that yeah, it's our characters sort of maneuvering around them, trying to stay silent as possible, which is a key part of the game as well, because obviously you can pick to do that game very stealthily, or you can just go in guns blazing. And this
yeah,
has picked the stealthy route, which is obviously more terrifying. I remember when I was watching it, I was silent. I don't think I was breathing.
yeah. Not similar to the game though, in a way, because obviously it's Tess that breathes, like sighs, isn't it? And then they
Yeah.
notice her. In the game, Ellie and Tess can go up to a fucking clicker and kick them in the head, and they do not react.
I
But
probably
if
wouldn't buy it if they did
but
that in
if
the show.
Joel just lets out like a little fart, they'll be like fucking on him.
Yeah, just a little.
So when she sighed and it clicked onto her, I was like, "Oh, justice!"
Well, yeah, I thought that was a brilliant moment. Joel gives the sign of no eyes,
Yeah.
just ears. That's how they work. She closes her eyes, just hoping by the time she opens them again, it will have gone. She opens her eyes. It's about a meter away from her.
And if I
Lets
remember
out.
rightly, they hadn't seen the clickers, had they? I don't think they'd
Uh,
seen the like prosthetics or the or
oh
at
right.
least Bella
Oh
Ramsey, or
wow.
at least Bella Ramsey had, because in an interview, they asked her, what was it like work with the clickers, trying to be scared, and she was like, I hadn't seen them, so
That is
they
terrifying.
genuinely
Yeah.
scared me when I first saw them.
That
Um,
is, I mean, a part of you is like, why have you made a noise? But I was also like, I would have completely done the same thing. I
oh
probably would
yeah,
have screamed, let alone just gone.
I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. So then our characters are split up. Obviously, we don't see Tess for a lot of this conflict, which leads to what happens later. But it's the moment with Joel when he's reloading, which was taken from the first trailer for the game that came out. He's reloading. There's a little jingle of the bullets in his hand, and you see the clicker turn. And we were like, "Oh my god, they can hear that. We're fucked. How are
Yeah,
they gonna get out of this?" In the game trailer, though, yeah, it pans to Joel, which I thought they did brilliantly. We can tell the clicker where the clicker is by the sound it's making. It's definitely getting closer. In the game trailer, he does turn around with the flashlight and it jumps him straight away. I love the choice in this. He shines it directly at the clicker.
I have
Obviously,
no idea. Yeah, what it is.
nothing. Hears a noise from Ellie, who's also sneaking around, turns to her. Um, yeah, we finally get out of this scene. I love as well. These clickers aren't easy to kill,
Oh no.
but I mean, obviously, in when you're frantically running around being chased by a zombie, it's going to be hard to get a headshot off anyway. But these required like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I liked going back to something earlier on when Ellie was asking about the different kinds of zombies, like, are the ones that blow up,
Yeah,
I was sat there thinking, I was like, is there? I was
yeah,
like,
the
I was like,
bloaters.
well, yeah, the bloaters definitely are. The second one she
No,
named,
that's a clicker where the head is split open and
oh,
they see
I was
like
thinking of
bats.
something very different, but it might be from a different game.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
No. Yeah. Because the design on the creature is incredible. Because obviously the fungus is completely taken over. Because it doesn't need its eyes. It's completely taken over the head. But obviously it still needs the mouth to spread the virus. But you can see the top of the mouth is like cracked open
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's bursting. Oh, it's disgusting, but it's kind of beautiful in a way how they've done it.
it's so well done. It looks so good.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's like such a when you see stuff like this, it's really a kind of you know justification for like practical aesthetics.
Yeah. Because
Like
I fully believed it was there.
you know, CGI is good sometimes, but like having a person in really good makeup, with things that have been crafted on their head, will always be scarier than looking at someone wearing a green suit.
Well, yeah, the reason for that is because the actors can actually respond
Yeah, yeah,
to something visual in front of them, let alone
yeah. Don't
using
get me
their
wrong. I think it's very
imagination.
talented when you can do things with lots of green screen. Like
Yeah, yeah,
looking at something like
for
the
sure.
Jungle Book, it's really great. But like sometimes you just need,
Yeah,
that realness.
it just
And I think
helps. It
that's
just helps performance, which obviously just
yeah.
makes us more terrified. If the characters are terrified, we're terrified. Um, yes, we finally get out of here. We get to is it the Boston like monument? Is that where we're heading?
Yes.
Yeah, the Gold Dome. That's yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Fireflies are based there. That's literally all originally where Joel and Tess were supposed to take Ellie, drop them off there so they can get their things. They turn up, all these Fireflies have been killed. It's like someone got infected, everyone lost, bullets started going, people were getting bitten, everyone died. Um, Tess reveals she's been bitten, and this is such a big turning point in the story because she got bitten maybe like half an hour prior and it's already going,
Yeah.
it's already doing its job. Takes another look at Ellie's arm. Ellie got bit a second time. during that museum fight, and obviously nothing's happened, let alone with the first
See, that's
one.
where I'd suck in this scenario. If I knew that Ellie wasn't able to turn into a zombie or an infected, every time one was getting close
Throwing
to
her
biting
at him.
me, I would grab this kid and be like, "No!" Like a human shield. I'm like,
Get
"Get
her,
away!
she's fine.
Like, give me your arm!"
Human shield.
Like he says,
Um,
and he at one point, "You're immune to
oh, she says you're not
you're
immune to
immune
getting
to
ripped
yeah, you're
apart.
not immune to getting ripped apart." And I was like,
Yeah.
"That's fucking cool, then."
Which, yeah, no,
Um,
that's what that was a big moment for me as well. So, oh no, shit, like, yeah, she can still die. It won't
yeah,
be by
yeah,
infection, but she can still get ripped to shreds by these zombies. Um, yeah, Tessa, like, Joel, this is real. We both didn't believe this at the start, but this is a clear sign that this kid is special. She's been bitten twice and nothing's happening to her. This is where Tess regains her hope. Because, not for herself, she knows she's lost. She's gone. This is the last this is the furthest she'll make it. But she's like, Joel, and this is important. There's a great line in here: "Save who you can save." Because obviously, for the past 20 years, he's been thinking of what he could have done differently to save his
yeah,
daughter, and that's been clouding his mind for the last 2 decades. And now there's finally an opportunity where he can save someone and actually really do some good. Uh, from that, they changed Tess's fate slightly from the
yeah. Because in
game.
the game, she's fighting
Fedra, yeah.
soldiers. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they catch up to her. She still goes out in a blaze of glory, doesn't she?
Oh yeah, she
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
down fighting.
100%.
She goes, yeah.
I've not played the
She,
game in nearly 10 years now.
I don't think she. I don't know if she. I don't know
Yeah,
if she
does she
blows
blow
them
it
up.
up?
I think no. I think she goes down like shooting. And I
Shooting,
don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
she blows it up if I remember right. But I could be wrong.
I thought the change here was incredible. So obviously we see how this fungal network actually works. He shoots her. What stage is this zombie at? Yeah, it's runner, then stalker, then clicker, then bloater.
Yeah.
So I think this is just a runner. Shoots him in the head. The tendrils come out the ground. Alert the horde that are a mile away. Um, and they're immediately up. They know where they are, and they're coming. That's food.
So cool.
That's
It's,
a
yeah,
way to
it's so
that's a way to spread the infection. Um,
terrifying.
yeah, that I was so obviously, yeah. There's gasoline everywhere, grenades everywhere. She's gonna blow all these zombies to high hell. The lighter doesn't work, and I
That
was like,
yeah, that
pick up a
trope.
grenade,
Yeah,
pick up
that
a
trope
grenade.
will never not be tense though.
Oh
Like
yeah, no.
you know the odds are she's gonna like that later. But every time you're going, come on, you're like, oh my god, you're not gonna do it.
So obviously they changed it from the game. It's not Fedra now. It's the
Yeah,
it's the zombies. So I was like, fuck. Maybe she just doesn't. Maybe she can't do it before
yeah. She just
before it
gets like,
gets to her.
yeah,
And yeah, so that was yeah. This show has been brilliant with attention, all the way through these first 2 episodes. But yeah, she comes in, and I've seen a lot of people on Twitter being like, "Why didn't she run?" I'm like, "Well, she knows if she runs, she's
yeah.
getting ripped apart, and she knows
Yeah,
she's dead
she's
anyway."
dead either way.
Yeah.
Um,
So obviously, and I think the infection is starting to take a hold of her, which is also why she sort of succumbs to the other zombie just
that bit, I'm
feeding
not
up
gonna lie,
the.
that bit, a little bit weird. I get that's probably how they infect people, but it's hard to look at it past that zombies kissing her.
Well,
You know what I
I
mean?
thought that was such a beautiful thing because obviously a kiss is one of the most intimate things you can do to another person, but it's this fungus
Yeah.
showing love to another part of itself in this other host. So there's sort of two sides to it. Obviously,
And
yeah,
obviously, you've got
Tess
like
is
the
being
kiss of death
yeah.
idea and all that
I thought it
stuff.
was a really strong idea, and obviously, yeah, it's creepy, it's intrusive, it's horrifying. Tendrils going down a throat will always make me
Yeah.
feel sick. Yeah, and then yeah, she find the last bit of humanity in Tess manages to get the light, blows up the building. Joel and Ellie are seemingly safe for now. Um, and then and it ends. Joel has there was a beautiful moment right before Joel leaves Tess, and I think it's the right moment for like a goodbye kiss. but he knows he can't do that because like she's infected. So he just has, just a longing look at her. There's a great line in this as well where she says, like, I've never forced an answer out of you of like what we are to each other, but do this for me. You need to
and
do
like that moment as well
you
with
can save.
kind of Ellie, where it's like she's like, no, I'm not leaving her. And I
Yeah.
think it's good to see, like, even though like it shows Ellie's humanity, which I think is a big part of this, is that like she is this like bitchy little teenager, but she does have a lot of
Yeah.
compassion in her.
And obviously Tessa's, out of the two of them, Tessa's been the one that's been kinder to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a big moment. Joel turns, takes her out, runs out of there. Then the kiss happens, blows over, and they get away. And then next week it looks like we're meeting Bill and Frank. Nick Offerman and Murray Bartlett. Apparently episode 3 is incredible from what I've heard. It's another 80 minutes. So it's a big one. Well, I hope these episodes, I hope every episode starts how these first two have, where we're in a different location.
Yeah, but I don't know how much of that they can do after. I suppose you could show.
I don't think it's going to be like in a different country and then this is when the outbreak happened. But I think it is going to be away from our central characters.
Yeah.
Just a little vignette of something else going on, because we know there is going to be a flashback to Ellie's mum, who is played by, I'm blanking on the actor's name, but who plays Ellie in the game.
Ashley Johnson.
Ashley Johnson is playing Ellie's mum. So we're going to see that. I think that'll probably just be like the opening 5-10 minutes of an episode. I can't imagine they'll do a.
I imagine maybe they could do.
We're getting Riley at some point as well, but I have a feeling that Riley will be like a full episode.
Do you think that'll be a full episode?
I think they'll flash back and do a full episode on Ellie and Riley.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'd hope so anyway, because they got Storm Reid to play Riley, and she's actually quite a big actress now. So I doubt they'd just get her in for an opening 5 minutes.
Because I'm trying to think of the back to that, because I played that DLC and I don't think it's that long. So I don't know if they could get a whole episode.
Well, obviously, they're just expanding, aren't they?
Yeah, it would be more than an opening, I think.
Yeah,
probably take up like half an episode, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see where it goes. I'm watching the 2 a.m. premiere every week, and I'm so excited. Yeah, because we agreed to do it after week 1, and then I was like, God, every Monday for the next 3 months, I'm going to be knackered. But it's worth it because this show is great, and I wake up on a Monday and I just watch it again. So, yeah, out of 5, Rhys, what are you giving episode 2?
5 again.
Yeah, easy 5.
Yeah, you just everything about it. I mean, the clickers got me. As soon as I saw the clickers, I was like, yes.
Yeah, like they've got it, and we know
5 stars.
We know bloaters are coming.
Yeah,
soon. We see them in this trailer. I mean, if this goes into a season 2, I want to see the Rat King. Where it's like several bodies all combined together. It's disgusting.
Oh, but if they do a season 2, I'm gonna be so sad.
Yeah, don't spoil what happens in case people haven't played.
I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be sad again.
Well, that's how I felt going into this show. I was like, God, they're gonna make me sit through Sarah's death again. I can't do it. But yeah, that is going to be it for this week, guys. 2 5 out of 5s from me and Rhys. Thank you so much for joining us. Just remind you all, we are on Twitter at Keeping It Real UK. Give us a follow from there. You can find links to all of our streaming platforms and social media on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, and TikTok. Whichever app you use to listen to your podcast, make sure to follow us, like us, give us a 5-star rating. It really helps us out. We're also on YouTube and love to have you all subscribers so you never miss another video. We did review episode 1 last week, so go check that out if you haven't. And tomorrow our podcast will be up where we talk all of this year's Oscar nominations. But until next time, keep it real.